Bays, Rakim, John, Renee, 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 Bays, Rakim.
Hi y'all, it's the Hee Haw Hunter. She's back, y'all, and I'm here, and this is queer, and you're gonna get used to. No, really though, my name is Bussy May, and this is Bussy May and the Hee Haw Hunters, and we're just four Hee Haw Hunters, four little small town girls from Tallahassee, Georgia, and we're just trying to make some sense of this little world that we live in. But no, in seriousness, this is Podcast of Color, where four trash bags of color come together to make some sense of the world. I'm Baze, and y'all, where y'all?
I'm Barbara Buffon, and
not Buffon.
Buffon, and I am feeling. Honestly, I was feeling great until I read that Uma Thurman article. So,
oh no,
yeah. So I'm chilling. I'm chilling like a villain, like they say in the '90s. All that good shit.
I'm John, and currently working on my Bussy lip kit, so we'll get back to that.
What?
It's a lip kit for your Bussy.
Oh, for your rosebud?
Yeah, for your butt. You could change the color. Maybe make it. Yeah. So
I don't think that's what the lip kit does. It's not supposed to change.
Yeah,
the color.
I'm sorry. You just can't drop that in there and just act like you didn't just say you're working on a Bussy kit. What the fuck is that?
It's how some people change the color of their, they want to go bleach it or whatever, and make it look a certain way, certain tones. So I'm currently talking to some people about developing a Bussy lip kit,
like Fenty Beauty before your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Tyra gift, Fenty Beauty before your ass.
No, I thought it was like Kylie Jenner, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, like that, but for
But it doesn't change the colors. It just makes it bigger.
But
you
mean like her lips? Oh, babe, shut the fuck up. Oh,
that's what it's supposed to do. So are you changing the pussy's colors? Or are you trying to make it bigger?
The colors.
Okay, I don't know what that
is. This an actual thing? Or are you
no, it's
sarcastic?
not. I mean, there's the Kylie lip kit.
I know.
Oh no! We're gonna move on. No,
and it's
not today.
And you're
Lord.
supposed to suck on it and make sure it looks bigger.
And then our fourth trash bag, Renee.
Right, or maybe I'm misunderstanding what that was. What that actually is. Maybe I just completely don't know what that is. Anyway,
I don't want to know what that is. Actually, to be honest with you, that sounds demonic.
Inti-ways.
Not of God.
Inti-ways.
And
yeah, we're missing our fourth trash bag this week. Renee is gone.
Reenie.
We miss her.
So it's just the three of our hee haw huntiness. It's Josie and the Pussycat and the Pussycats. So
it's Bussy May and the Hunty Cats.
And the Hunty Cat. Bussy May and the Hee Haw Hunties.
And the
That's
Hee-Haw
a good.
Hunty Cats.
Yeah, I like that. That's a band name.
What would we wear on our heads?
Huh?
What would we wear on our heads?
The pink hats for the Women's March.
Oh, the pink hat.
The pussy hats. So I have this theory. So y'all know a few years ago that there was the royal wedding, and everybody was talking about Princess Beatrice's uterus hat.
Like the fascinators?
She was wearing like one of those really intricate like hats, and it looked like a uterus. And so I just think that's beautiful that she had that, and I think that the uterus hat gave birth to the pussy hat, and I think honestly, Princess Beatrice be knowing. I think she be knowing. I think she got the sight.
She has the range.
She knew that Trump was coming, and she knew, and now she was trying to warn us. That was her way of trying to warn us. Anyway, what's the question?
Shitty ass way of warning us. Words would have helped.
Yeah, but look, she's royalty, bitch. She don't care. She's like, look, I'm gonna give you what you get.
This is true.
And if you don't get it, then look, I don't care, bitch. I'm a member of the royal family.
A new goal, new life goal: marry into the royal family.
No,
Who's gay?
You don't want to do that.
real
They
fast.
mandate like what you wear, where you can go. You can't even make your political opinions known.
Bitch, that's perfect. That means I just get to sit up there and eat and not do shit all day, and I don't gotta work.
Shit. You gotta go to appearances. You gotta shake people's hands. You gotta talk to niggas. You gotta visit children in hospitals every week, bitch. You gotta talk to old people. You gotta do all of that.
Talk to old people. Why is that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's mandated. You don't get to just go when you want to. You got to do it like on a weekly basis.
That sounds a
You
little
got to shit on
ageist.
schedule. That's no.
Yeah. So no,
Yeah.
thank you. No, thank you. Shout out to
Anyway,
Princess
question
Megan.
of color.
Yeah, question of color. So what is the question of color, John?
So I did not watch the Super Bowl or halftime show, but I heard someone from Duck Dynasty was up there.
Oh no. Well.
But instead of Justin Timberlake, who would you guys have wanted to perform this year? And it can't be someone who's already performed.
It sure can. Okay, fine. Someone who has not performed before.
I want Rihanna. I think Rihanna should have performed.
That's a good one.
If Rihanna put in the effort, then yes. Like
When
I feel
Rihanna
like
wants to, she can actually do a performance. It's just that she usually don't give a fuck. But if she gave
that's
a fuck,
it. She's very hit or miss. Like if Rihanna, like when she did the Love on the Brain thing, and when she was at the Grammys, like she looked great. But the thing is, Rihanna, I watched that documentary when she had that tour, like that 777 tour or whatever, and she was like flying reporters and shit. And like the reviews were atrocious. They were saying that like she never showed up, like she was barely on practice. And then like I watched the documentary that she had with it, and like she didn't seem into it, I guess. Like I don't know. I would love for Rihanna to do it because she has hits, like, but it's like would there be choreography involved? Like how, like unless it was a bunch of niggas on stage, like when she had work that one time at the VMAs, like if it was that for 15 minutes, I'm down. But if it's anything that requires her to do, like more than minimal effort, I don't know.
No.
If she look, I love Rihanna, but I'm not gonna
say
lie.
that.
But where's the lie though? Exactly. Anyway.
I mean, I've seen some clips from her live shows, and she looks like she can do some choreo.
But I don't want some choreo. It's the Super Bowl. Like, go big or go home. Like I don't want to reward mediocrity with a Super Bowl performance. Is what we just got. Like, so.
But remember her at the Victoria's Secret show? All she has to do is like walk down the runway, and she'll be fine.
True. I don't like think that Rihanna would do a bad job. All I'm saying is I don't want a half-ass performance from her. Like I want her to actually put effort into it.
Well,
so,
who do you
that's
want?
all.
Who do you want to perform?
Sasha Fierce. She didn't perform yet.
Oh my god! I said
Beyonce performed, not Sasha Fierce.
okay, but didn't a song from
Fine.
She did one
Fine.
song, right?
Fine. If it's not Beyonce, I would want a. Honestly, I think I would want one from probably a full Janet Jackson, to be honest with you. Like, or I wouldn't mind a Britney Spears if I knew she was going to lip sync. Like,
Actually,
but
that was my answer. Damn it!
oh, like I wouldn't mind if Britney Spears did it if I knew she was going to lip sync and like didn't attempt to sing live. I would have no issue with her doing it. Or a Kendrick Lamar, I think would be great, but he would never because he's a rapper. But I would love Kendrick Lamar to do it.
Okay, I can agree with that. I don't think he would, but I would, yeah.
My second runner-up was going to be J-Lo, but she already
she's
has
a good
like
performer.
Actually, that would be great.
Yeah, but she already has a residency in Vegas, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a lot for her to do Vegas and Super Bowl. But I guess if I wasn't considering that, I was going to pick J-Lo, but I also didn't know if she has performed or not. I should have like looked up previous performers at the Super Bowl, but
She hasn't performed at the Super Bowl.
okay. My answer was Britney Spears or J-Lo, because I don't know, I just want to see women like outfit changes and like all that
And as
choreo.
we see, men cannot bring the show. Even
I
Lady Gaga
know
is better than
that
this.
outfit
But we'll
was
talk about that. We'll get to
terrible.
that.
Okay.
Wait, you know what would be really good? Janelle Monáe.
Oh, yes.
Like, I mean, I know they would never, but she would be so good.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't know
my
if she
god.
has enough clout. Is the word? Is the word clout? Does she have enough clout?
No, I think she has enough clout. She just has also too much melanin.
Oh.
Right. She's too pro-black. Also, she needs to become a singer again. I'm just waiting on
They
that to
want
happen.
they want safe white people now. That's why they got Lady Gaga last year, and they doing Justin Timberlake this year.
Oh, dang. You're right.
Yeah. Carly Slade Jepsen.
Oh my god, how did I miss that one? Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, that's it for the intro. We'll be back with Minutes of Color. I mean, we'll be back with Minutes of Color. So,
Trash, 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 trash.
hi y'all, we back.
Oh, wow.
Let's see what we've got on the
I'm kidding.
That
Sorry.
sounds like
That's
a
a
What have we
gremlin.
got? What have we got? You?
What?
What have we got?
What do we go?
You. Dun,
Oh.
dun, Soldier Boy, tell
Tell him. Hey,
dun,
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 dun.
tell him. Hey. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. First things first. Black Panther premiered like literally the day after we recorded.
Damn.
Didn't it premiere like that Tuesday, or did it premiere that night? No, it premiered Tuesday.
It premiered while we were recording, but we didn't see it.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
But everybody looked amazing, and didn't you get stuck in traffic behind that?
Oh my god, yes. I didn't realize what it was because when I was driving home, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be late editing the episode because there was so much fucking traffic. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I passed by like Vine and Highland, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Because the street was all blocked off. And then I get home and I'm like, oh, like that's why. So it was like I just drove by Janelle Monáe and Angela Bassett and Chadwick Boseman
Oh my God.
and all that other fine ass melanin on the purple carpet for that ass.
Oh
Like,
my god, it was purple?
For the culture.
for the culture. Like I was shook, and it was just like
Did you
If the
see
Go ahead.
Angela Bassett's outfit?
Yellow.
She wasn't wearing
Yellow?
nothing but panties underneath. I was like, go off.
looking like the damn sun. I just Her
Sun
outfit.
in the sky.
It
You
kinda looked
know
like-
how I feel.
Yes.
Didn't
She
it look
literally-
like the hold up kind of yellow? Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
She went into her stylist and she said,
I love how you
know
keep
when-
trying to make these references to make up for the fact that you didn't buy.
"Ooh,
Wait, what?
ooh, ooh."
These references to Beyonce.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
We don't know. I'm clearly not.
Yeah, you didn't buy Lemonade, and we will not forget that.
How you know about the yellow dress that you ain't buy the damn album?
It's on YouTube.
Ooh.
Mm.
You see how he just be using this black labor?
Right, using the black
free.
woman for his own entertainment, but don't want to pay her
But don't
coin.
wanna
Trash.
pay her
So
coins.
her outfit
Trash.
was amazing, wasn't it?
It was gorgeous. Yeah,
It was. It was like she told her stylist, "My outfit inspiration is in Lion King when he says everything the light touches," and that was that in an outfit, and it was just like, it was amazing. The fringe.
I mean,
was
I
great.
love fringe. Yes.
Oh, I wanted to see a boomerang of it so bad, but like
that would have been so
Angela
good.
wore fringe, so I wear fringe now.
right.
I mean, and then let's not even get into Queen Lupita.
Oh,
Came through with that
That back.
that tower on her head,
she's
and
your
just
queen to be. Like, it was,
I was just like, wow, stunting.
Zamunda was shook. Like Wakanda was like, "Bitch, I'm
Wakanda.
here."
They brought Wakanda to Hollywood. I was living. That purple gown that matched the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Janelle
that woman
Monáe.
is just so like, Lupita is just beautiful. Like I look at the pictures of her and I don't know what to do. I'm just like, why are you so pretty?
It's actually unfair. Like I hate her because how pretty she is.
She is just so like otherworldly. I can't. Anyway,
like How are you that? Janelle Monáe to me had the best outfit. I still am in shock by that dress. She looked so good, and like the crown she had was really fucking amazing. And then actually the men looked good too. I was kind of except Michael B. Jordan. He looked kind of boring, but everyone else.
I don't know what it is. You know what it is? You know what? I've never really been that attracted to Michael B. Jordan, and I think what it is the dreads. Because when I see him without the dreads, I'm just like, oh, okay, you're cute, but when I see him with the dreads and them keloids that they gave him,
listen,
I'm like, my pussy is
Oh my god.
On fire.
You guys know that game I play when I walk by some mannequins and there's like a whole bunch and like which girl would I be? Which girl would you guys be in that? Which dress? If you had to pick one and you had to be in it.
Oh, I'd be Angela Bassett's dress because I really just I liked her. I mean, it wasn't a dress, but I liked hers the best.
I would have been Janelle Monáe's because it truly to me rang. I'm better than all you bitches and you're not in my tax bracket, and I loved it. So, what about you?
I didn't get the actress's name, but there was this one.
Tread lightly. This one, what?
This one,
actress.
Negress, right?
Oh my god! I was gonna. Wow. But her dress came out like I forgot what the word was, but like underneath the skirt where it keeps it like open. Fuck, I forgot what the word is. Anyway, I don't know. It's like it was a really nice like
slit.
A nice print. It was yellow. I can't find it right now. I'm googling it right now, but I can't find it. But also Lupita's because I like that back, like that.
We know you like the back.
Wow.
Also, you know what's his name was really looking good. Chadwick Boseman. Do you see the way he got out that car?
Oh, I mean, yes. Yes.
Just wow.
Sorry. Oh my god, Issa Rae looked good too. Well, actually, I wasn't a huge fan of her dress, but she looked amazing.
But she still looked amazing. Like, she shone through.
It was great. And then actually, Childish Gambino's suit. I love that orange suit. I hated the shirt he had on, but that orange suit. Oh, it was amazing. Like, I need to learn the name of the girl who in Civil War, yeah, where she looks at Scarlett Johansson and she says, "Move or you will be moved."
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's not deny girl. How do you pronounce her last name? I don't remember how to pronounce her last name.
I'm not the one, but
she's not in Civil War, but she plays his right hand woman.
Wait, she's not in Black Panther, you mean?
She's in Black Panther. She's not in Civil War. That's another woman. There's like two bald-headed, dark-skinned black women, and I can't. I mean, there might be more. I haven't seen them.
I'm just saying I just need to learn her name because bad bitch. Like, I can't wait.
San Francisco is retroactively expunging and reducing misdemeanors and felonies dating back to 1975 on marijuana charges. So nearly 5,000 felony marijuana convictions will be reviewed, recalled, and resentenced.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
You're doing amazing, sweetie. Now, let's get those rents down a little bit.
The capital of
But
kink.
are they going to...
The capital of kink, yeah.
The capital of kink is...
Yes.
Like,
y'all came for our necks. The San Franciscans came for our necks.
The
for our
San Francisco
Christian
treat.
necks.
Did they come for our necks, though? Or did they hang themselves?
What?
Well, they probably did that, too, after they finished coming for us. They came for themselves.
Well, because that shit was a mess.
Gigi and Bella Hadid got some heat after posing nude for Vogue together. A lot of people weren't feeling these two sisters cradling each other both naked.
Why is that weird?
What? Why is that weird?
I don't know, Miss Conservative Christian. Why is it weird?
Do you hang out with your sister naked?
No, but that's because like, oh my god, holy shit! I opened up the page and then there was like this like song that just played and I thought it was like a bomb dropping or some shit. I was like, what the fuck? I don't find it weird to like. I wouldn't post naked with my sister, but if I was a girl and like I don't think that's weird. Like, girls do that all the time. Like, I don't know. I feel like sisters see each other naked all the time. Like,
they see, but they don't like hang out and like caress and like.
Maybe this is TMI, but like I see my family naked all the time, so it's not like.
I mean, that's okay. You're like walking by, and like, yeah, that's fine. But like, do you hang out and really
each other?
Close? You know.
I mean, I've hugged my sister topless. Yeah, I didn't think there was an issue with it, but that's just me.
I personally feel like I didn't really care. Like I just didn't. I was just like, I mean, I guess I could get why some people would be like put off by it, but I didn't. It really. Like, I mean, I personally, I have a cousin who's like a sister to me, and I personally you wouldn't catch us hugging each other on the floor naked, but,
right.
You know, for anybody's photo shoot, but that's just a personal choice that I make for myself. If other people want to do that, I don't know. It doesn't, like, bother me. I mean, unless they're fucking, I don't really care.
Have you seen the photo? They're pretty much, like, scissoring.
They're not scissoring. That's
really.
Just what you do. No, that's just what you do when you're like, you know, doing
when you're sisters.
Well, no. If I finish, it's just like what happens when you're trying to do like a photograph and you're trying to hide each other's parts. Like I don't see like there's anything wrong with that. They're two consenting adults. Like I mean,
but we also, I mean, isn't the intent supposed to be like sexy?
Like the way that I mean, I'm sure they're definitely whoever shot this photograph the intention is definitely to sexualize them. I'm looking at it right now. They're not scissoring. Like one Bella's like legs are down on the floor, and it's not like they're not that close. Like they're close.
Okay, let me ask you this then, John. Have you ever watched porn where it was like the stepbrother or something fucking, or the dad and the son fucked before? Have you ever done that? Ever?
Okay, stepbrother is different.
Okay, but have you ever watched porn where it was like?
I mean, have you ever watched porn with the twins?
With the twins, or like it's a dad and a son or something like that?
Okay, I don't watch twin porn, but I think...
Okay, then.
No, I said I don't watch twin porn.
Oh.
He's like, I made my point!
He's like, ready for that. Okay, then. No, I don't watch twin porn because I think it's weird, and like... And the dad-son thing, that's like fake. Like, I know they're actors and they're not really related.
I just don't care. I don't know. That's
but I don't see what the big deal is here, like at all.
I'm not
I mean, like at all.
Again, I wouldn't do it, but that's not my. I don't really care about other people doing it. As long as they're not fucking, like they're not scissoring each other on the actually scissoring each other on the thing. Like I can see if their pussies were like clearly touching, but like there's clearly space between their bodies. Like I don't.
Well, isn't
it's not that much.
The younger one's boob on the or hand on the other one's boob? What is that?
No.
Oh no, it's not.
But like they're sisters.
What?
Like
What you talking about?
I find this a very like sensual. This is my sister. We're both naked. Whatever. Like,
and it's on her upper chest, like near her neck.
Yeah, it like to me, it's very clear that like it's not meant to be like they are being sexual towards each other. Mm-hmm. It's like it's more of like you're meant to look at them in like a sexual kind of way. I don't know.
I'm sure it's to titillate people. I'm sure it's to sexualize
not titillate.
Them. And you know, that's a conversation that we can have. I guess for between the two of them, I'm not like bothered, I guess.
Yeah, this is the longest I've ever talked about the two of them, and hopefully
honestly,
the longest I ever have to talk about the two of them ever again.
Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? Do we want to go into the horrible?
Are we not going to talk about the kink thing?
The what?
Did you not hear about that? The like
kink
the thing where they were just like, oh, kink should be a letter on like the LGBT.
Oh my god.
Oh, I wasn't going to talk about that.
Are we doing that now?
You know what? Here's the thing. Here is the thing. So we had that
Rini?
episode that we talked about last week, and we had a very visceral response from a lot of you. A lot of you had some thoughts, had some opinions, in both directions, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty split.
Yeah, some people were like, y'all didn't like go hard enough about how gross it is. Some of y'all were like, y'all are really like puritanical,
judgmental.
And so, you know, we got. I mean, clearly we need to have more discussions where we disagree on things. The Real Housewives of Podcasts of Color.
The Real Housewives of Tallahassee, Georgia, whatever it's called.
The Real Housewives of Tallahassee, Georgia. No.
But
yeah. And so like I already stated how I felt about it, but I had to really rethink some of the things I was talking about, because I had a conversation with a friend recently, and we were talking about like kinks, and like I was like saying like, you know, a kink is not a part of your identity, And then they were like, well, why not? And like, the person was like really challenging. It was like, well, why isn't a kink part of your identity? Like, if you're into pup play, maybe why is it necessarily sexualized? And a lot of people, you know, Mark was talking about, like, you know, there were people that he knew in San Francisco who were very heavily into pup play, but it wasn't. There were parts of it, aspects of it that were not sexual, and it was just about like the way that they interacted, and you know, if we're so, and this person was like, you know, I'm trans and I expect people to respect my identity. You know, if we're going to talk about respecting each other's identities, you know, do I think that, you know, pup self is something that people should be walking around calling themselves that? No, but, you know, if we're talking about respecting people's identity, if somebody wants to be called pup self, you know. And so it made me really think about it, because it was like, yes, my knee-jerk reaction is to be like, fuck that, that's stupid and weird and white people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the person was like, every once in a while, white people stumble across a point. And it's not intentional. And a lot of the times they do it just to be doing something. But every once in a while, they'll stumble across a point. And I was like really thinking about it. And I was like, honestly, I didn't have an argument for why, you know, other than I'm disgusted by it.
Oh. I still think they stumbling across the point. The whole reason I brought it up was because there was that they wanted to add it on to like the LGBT. Yeah. The reason I don't want to say that is for a few reasons. One, I mean, this is a very oversimplification, but one, kink is not like subjective or subjected just to queer people. Like, so, and also to like, people aren't oppressed for a kink. Like, that's a choice that you were making. Whereas
that's
like
right.
Yeah, like your identity.
But
like,
are they not?
I think it's,
what if their identity?
I think it's insulting if you're going to sit there and tell me that you face oppression because you want to be called pup, when I'm like a black gay man actually having like laws and shit, or trans people having like laws and shit put into place. Like, to me, it makes a mockery of what like the actual like of what the actual struggles are. And that's what my issue is. If you want to be identified as that, sure, but to sit there and be like, I want a letter, like, you know, in the spectrum, like, come on. It's like there are people who have actually been killed, who have like fought and marched for this shit. Where, if you care so much, where are your pup marches? Like, they're like, it was the first pup that threw the brick at Stone.
What would they be marching for? Because are there any legislations or laws that say they can't be a pup in public?
That's what I'm saying. Like
I think it's more about stigma, but yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why
that's fair. That's fair.
To be on that letter is to be part of that acronym is because there's laws and struggles and fights and people, like all these rights that aren't being allowed as, you know, our heterosexual counterparts. But what about the K is preventing like a K person who identifies K to get married, or person who identifies as K to like use the restroom, or like, are there any health restrictions for you? What is it that you feel like the public isn't allowing you to do, other than, you know, like do your sexual deeds in public, which we shouldn't be doing? Or
because stigma is not oppression, and I don't want people to get the two things confused, because it's the same thing when white people say, well, oh my god, you called me a cracker and it hurt my feelings. Just because I say I'm not into your kink personally, or I think it's weird, does not mean that you're oppressed. It just means that it's not for me. Does it mean that I think that you shouldn't be able to practice that? Absolutely not. It just means I think it's weird, and sometimes things are weird, and that's fucking okay. So to sit there and be like, I'm oppressed, I'm systematically oppressed, and like, this is something that you want, like, whatever, if you want to go off and do that, that's fine. But to me, it's insulting to people that have actually like died to have that like letter and like what that flag means and whatnot. Like, if you were to sit there and like for example, I think of the documentary when we had Matted on, and like we were talking about their documentary for transformation, and like that, to me, that makes a mockery of all the like trans youth that were on there like struggling to like come to terms with themselves. And you want to sit there and talk about like you feel a certain way because you know your kink is certain, it's a certain thing. Like, come on. Like, I understand and actually after the discussion too, I had a thought, you know, I had to sit with myself as well and be like, well, why do I think some of this stuff is disgusting? And did I change my mind about a lot of stuff? No, but I'm more open to like but I'm more open to, you know, like listen to things, and I did take that in. But like, and I said what I said, but like, am I going to sit there and be like, you're like oppressed? Absolutely not. There's definitely a stigma, but there's not oppression. And I think that's the difference. Like, I don't want people to conflate the two. Just because something is stigmatized does not mean that you're oppressed because of it.
Okay. Well, listen, that was a good explanation, at least. I mean, because I felt like the consensus last week was, not the consensus, but the message that some people received was that it was like, it's just gross, and that's why it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? And I think that it's important that we like explain why. You know what I mean?
That's true, but I also want people to understand that you're allowed to think things are not like, you're allowed to not like things. Like, that's mine
definitely.
too.
But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like, if we have positions on the show, it's good for us to like explain it, and I think you did a really good job of that. So actually, we were just reading about Uma Thurman before we started recording. Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised at all by any of the Harvey Weinstein
bullshit.
Any of that, but I was definitely. I mean, I'm not really even surprised by the Tarantino stuff, to be honest with you. I just was like, wow, like. I was a little surprised that he would have his star, because if you haven't read it, Uma sat down and spoke about her interactions with Harvey and how he'd basically groomed her to be really comfortable around him, and then started harassing and assaulting her. Tarantino knew about this, pretended like I guess he forgot, and then finally confronted him about it, and then like Harvey gave her this half-assed apology about it. But I think she said one of the worst parts of this whole like working relationship that she had with the two of them was a moment where she does a stunt, and I've actually never seen either of the Kill Bills movies, and so I'm like,
who hasn't?
Going off of just I haven't. And so
you haven't? You haven't seen the Kill Bill?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't like Quentin Tarantino at all, so like I really try to avoid his movies, but I don't know. Maybe I'll see it at some point in the future.
Well, I think you should watch it just for this, just to get a reference, because I think it makes sense to her character now, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh, I mean, Ricky, right?
Well,
okay.
So
I'll say.
Well,
sorry, base. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just finish saying what she said. I guess there's a scene in which she posted a screenshot of the scene on Instagram when she talked about how thankful she was, and I mean, we had a bit of a tizzy over that as well. But
forgot about that.
Yeah, she said that when she did that scene, he pressured her into doing it. It was in a very shitty car. I think they had switched it from automatic to stick shift, and the car was crappy, and she was driving on like sand, and that stunt, she ended up crashing into a tree, and she thought she was paralyzed. And when she got out, I guess there's video. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to see it, but I guess she like laughs because she's relieved that she's, she can walk, and apparently she still has like neck damage to this day.
Damn.
Her knees were fucked up. She got a concussion. And he almost killed her. Tarantino like forced her to do this. Almost killed her. And then refused to give her the footage to it until 15 years later. So, yeah, like, I mean, again, we all knew that Quentin Tarantino was a piece of shit. And I'm just always glad to see him getting dragged publicly. So, but it sucks that she had to go through that.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like, I feel so bad because when she was like, and she also said that when they initially asked her, like when she said she was angry, she said that like she was going to cry too, and she didn't want to do that, and just like the Harvey Weinstein things about how like he sent her roses as like an apology first, and then like when she went to go confront him, she had to like go through this whole thing, and we talked about it before, but the fact that he has assistants and what? Right.
I was like, I think it's important to say what he wrote in the note with the roses. I thought that was pretty shitty.
Oh yeah, what did he write? It said
he said you have pretty good instincts.
Yes, like, that's garbage.
That's disgusting. It's like, it's not an apology. It's just acknowledging what he did was wrong, but like in a roundabout way, to where it's not enough proof to convict him for anything. but
Right.
like he knows what he did, and she knows, like he'll know what he's referring to. It's just disgusting. And like, yeah, what you're about to say is that like having his assistants be his accomplices in this was a whole other thing. Like they helped orchestrate the whole thing, and I'm just like, I can't even imagine knowing what was happening and then like helping, like being an accomplice to that.
The part that broke my heart was when she was saying that she felt guilty because she felt like she was being she felt like she was at fault for this happening to other people too.
Right.
And it was just like how
so
how she
sad.
was gaslit. Yeah, like she didn't do anything wrong, and it's just like he's a piece of shit, and it's gross. And the Quentin Tarantino thing was just like disgusting too, like, and then the fact that he got upset with her because she didn't want to do that, knowing damn well that she wasn't a stuntman. And it's like, do you, first of all, as a director, like, shame on you, like you shouldn't be doing that to your actors and shit like that. Second of all, where's your fucking empathy as a human being? Like, I know these people don't have any, but it's like, that's gross. And then I actually saw the video of the crash, and it's like, it's bad. And it's just like, look how fast she was going too. And it was like she had to go a certain amount or whatever. It was just, I don't know. So I hope, that she's found some kind of peace talking to her, sharing her story. And I would always say, yeah, when Kill Bill Volume 3. And it's like, I don't even want it to happen. It's just, I just want her to have peace of mind at this point. Like, I feel so bad for her.
And now, like, knowing all this Quentin Tarantino stuff, like, I knew he was shitty too, but that whole car incident was like, fuck, what a shitty person. Like, I can't watch these other stunts knowing that he's like making people do it,
And now it's making me think what he's done for other movies. Like, what the fuck did he do in Django? Like, and it's like, Kill Bill Volume 1 is my favorite movie of all time. And now it's like, I don't even know if I can watch it anymore. So it's just like, ugh. I don't know.
So, I mean, Vincent, I do not know how to pronounce this man's last name. Ciancione? I don't know. He's a talent manager who's worked with Taraji P. Henson and Halle Berry. He's been accused by 9 women of sexual misconduct. They claim that he took advantage of his position and just preyed on women, promising them, most of them women of color. There's 9 women accusing him. 8 of them are black. 1 is Asian. And the earliest incident occurred in '93, and the latest in 2011. They all claim that he assaulted them, and that he also like promised that he could make them big stars, and threatened, and just, I mean, the same old like stuff that we heard from Harvey Weinstein's accusers. It's really gross because he positioned himself as this, this woke white man helping black people in the industry and helping them get roles, and in the end he was abusing them and taking advantage of their position. And so it's disgusting. I guess Halle Berry stopped working with him about 3 years ago after she heard a woman speaking about her experiences with him on a radio station.
Yeah, I was going to ask what were the responses from her. And
she also released a statement too, saying that she was with the women, and I don't have it in front of me, but she actually released something that I thought was really beautiful.
I haven't heard anything from Taraji. I'm actually Googling it right now.
Okay, but I also, I'm glad you said that.
Apparently I'm not saying she has to say anything. I'm just saying that I don't know if she said anything at all. Oh
no, I'm glad you said that.
So
I'm glad you said that, because the way that these articles have been written on Twitter and shit, I find it so gross, because they're tying it like, oh, Taraji B. Henson's manager sexually assaulted, and it's like, stop putting their names in it. They didn't fucking sexually assault people. Like, right. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to sit there and say, oh, well, this black woman like should feel guilty because her manager did all of this shit, and you're trying to make it seem like they're the ones that are doing something wrong when they actually did nothing wrong. And it's like, it's funny because that didn't happen with any of the white women accusers or like any of their managers or anything like that. It's always just like they're putting the names in there for clickbait, and they're trying to demonize the black women who did find success under him, because I think what they're trying to say is like they're complicit in it, when obviously like they just didn't know. Like, so Well,
Yeah, and I have her
let
statement actually
allegedly
here. So I have her statement here. So she's actually spoken out about it as well. She cut ties with him. So
yeah, it's like
Taraji did. So
good.
yeah,
She needs to cut ties with whoever did Proud Mary too. Oh, like
Oh yeah.
needs to cut ties with Empire, but you know.
Oh, that's tea for another day.
Because she is overqualified for that.
Wait,
that
is
position.
Empire still on?
Is it? Or maybe it's not. I don't know. I haven't. Watched
I don't
it since
know.
the
Is it
first
still
season.
on?
I watched the first season, but I couldn't do the second season.
I stopped on the second season when they had Taraji come down in a bear suit or in a gorilla suit in a fucking cage.
What?
And she's talking about free Lucius. I was like, hell no. Like, I didn't even see that shit.
You know
I was
what?
like,
What's his
nope.
face is just such a. Let me not say that. There's something questionable about Lee Daniels to me, and that's just all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh, I mean, that's again tea for another
I
day.
find that man very questionable.
So much tea. I wonder.
Apparently, this according to this Jezebel article by the same writer who wrote the Taraji Halle Berry article, or what's his name?
Come on, Jezebel.
Cincione, whatever that nigga's name is. Apparently, a hip eatery in the Mission is has a lawsuit against them. It's a Chinese place.
Oh no.
And apparently they're just really shitty to their Black and Latinx employees and have been very discriminatory towards them.
Clap your hand if you're surprised.
Apparently,
well,
the chef owner of it his name is Danny Bowian. And I don't know what I think he's Chinese. I don't know, but yeah, apparently like people have been passed over for promotions. You know, Latinx people have been called specific slurs that I will not repeat on the show. People
Damn.
have been, you know, there's a hip hop voice that has been used against, like, when speaking to black people, and
A hip hop voice.
yeah,
wow, like a la Iggy Azalea,
Oh shit.
and
like vocal
yeah,
blackface.
And this black woman claims that Jane Him,
Who that?
who is what is this? What is? I'm sorry, I like.
Oh my god, I almost said IGGY.
I'm like a little confused. I think she's a manager. I'm like a little confused on what her position is, but she said that this black queer woman's dreads look like Grinch's fingers, which is hilarious to me because that's literally what everyone else's dreads looks like. But
Right, I was just about to say
Except for
black people's
people,
dreads.
So yeah, yeah, it's all garbage and fuck them. They're in the Mission in the Bay Area in San Francisco, so feel free to hit up their Yelp and fuck it up.
Fuck it up, sis.
Fuck it up.
Fuck it up.
Fuck it up. Fuck it up. Fuck it up.
What
Oh my
should
god,
we
and that
do
song talks
next?
about China a lot.
Oh, she
Oh my
sure
God.
does. Oh my god. I mean, we could talk about Justin Timberlake's performance, but I don't feel like that'll take very long.
I mean, let's just get through it. I mean, there's actually a lot of juicy shit in here. Now that I'm looking at the document, there's a lot of.
I
good
just
shit.
put like a few things in there. I really don't want to actually like. There's actually other things I'd rather talk about. So I just want to say that like it sucked. What the fuck was he wearing? Like he looked
Yeah,
like.
that
Have you ever
outfit
seen
was
that movie Glory? Is it Glory? No, it's not Glory. What's the movie I'm thinking of? What's the movie
Glory,
where
sweetie, I'm so sorry.
like? What's that movie where like they're like it's like these three? Oh, it's from the 70s, and there's like this guy. Never mind. I don't want to bring up that scene because it's actually might be triggering for some people. Anyway, he just looks like a hee-haw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a
Hee-haw?
hunty, and not a hunty.
He looked like Duck Dynasty, right? Like that camo, like he looked like he walked out of Bass Pro Shops and called it a day.
He looked like a man of the woods. Let's just say that. It was
Yeah,
not.
he sure did.
Like
He looked like he lives in a sundown town.
Yeah, for he was searching for his career, sis. Like what was left of it. It was not.
He looks
the
like he
album,
lives in a sundown town. He looks like he has a Reddit.
Not Reddit.
He looks like he looks like he's a Meninist.
Oh my
Like
god!
he's from the MRA, men's rights, guns rights. He looks like he says libtard a lot and cuck. He looks like he
Snowflake.
searches for interracial porn on Pornhub. And he looks like he says all lives matter. Oh wait, he does actually say all lives matter. So never mind.
Wait, does he?
Yeah, you didn't see that on Twitter? He got
No.
Oh, it was that was like a while ago, and then he was talking about, then he got defensive, like, well, y'all don't even know what the fuck I mean, or whatever the fuck, or whatever. Yeah, it wasn't.
You ungrateful niggers.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was bad. Actually,
He didn't say that. I'm just, like,
I listened to his album.
That's what I felt when I read what he said.
I listened to the album, and it's not cute. I was actually embarrassed. Like, there's literally a song on there where he said, "Y'all can't say the South ain't the shit," and I'm like, girl, what?
He's trying to get that racist money. Every white artist goes through this phase where they want to get that white money, that Southern white money.
But it's like they don't have the. I don't know. It's just someone lied to him several times. Like, he doesn't possess the vernacular that he thought he possessed. And, you know, it was not a good look. Although there are 2 good songs on there. There's one song with Alicia Keys that Alicia sounds like she was eating that pussy juice again. That one is very good. And then there's one with there's one called Montana that I thought was really good too. But other than that, it was kind of just like
I'm just like, did you learn nothing from Miley Ann Cyrus?
Miley Ann Cyrus.
And she was on her little plantation run as the Scarlet O'Hara.
God.
Oh no!
You didn't see that? You didn't see how that failed?
Yikes!
Plantation run.
Oh no! It was like a reverse lemonade
I'll
experience.
never go hungry again after all. Tomorrow is another day.
Oh no!
Mammy, I say mammy,
not mammy.
God damn it!
Don't he? He looks like, you know what Justin Timberlake looks like? He looks like he was too poor even in the old days to own a slave. Like, he looks like he was that po white trash.
Oh my god!
But he's upset
that got
because he
hired
couldn't
on as
own
like
one.
an overseer.
Did you just say
Yeah.
And he got too big
own
for
a
his
slave?
britches. He couldn't even afford a slave. He got too big for his britches, and he was filling himself in the plantation fields as an overseer. But he forgot he was the hired help and not massa.
That's exactly what, you know what it is, Baze? Justin Timberlake is upset because when he went to the slave auction, he had around $15, and he was like, I hope to God that no one goes above that. And they did, and he got pissed off because he couldn't get the slave that he wanted. So he had to go into indentured servitude, and that's why he's mad.
He had to indenture himself.
Yeah, his damn self.
Oh my God, yes.
Mess.
And like,
so
his uncle is his dad too.
Justin Timberlake is the granddad from Get Out that goes into the other one's body. That's who he is. Like, I can see him.
Yes.
Justin Timberlake grows up to be the dad from Get Out. I can see it.
He sure
Absolutely.
Did. You know, he looks like he pays black men to fuck Jessica Biel.
Oh my God!
Doesn't he look like it? He looks like he does.
They have, what are they called? Cuckolds?
They cucks, yeah, cuckolds. He looks
and he
like that
what's
type.
a cuck again?
We just described it.
We just said it?
I know, but I didn't catch it. Sorry.
Context clues?
Oh,
okay, wait, okay. When
yeah.
When white women get fucked by a group of black men, pretty much.
Oh,
Not necessarily a group. Sometimes it'll just be one. Just look up cuck porn. And it's just like some white man. And he's
not on my, no, not on that
and
computer
it's just like
though.
Some white man, and he like has like he's like his like wife is getting fucked, and he's like laying next to like the penetration that's happening in front of him. He's like crying as he's watching it, but he's like, turned on by it. And she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna." And then like sometimes they make them eat the cum out of their pussy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Watching his wife get pleased in ways that he could never do.
And then she's like shaming him as she's getting fucked. She's like, "Oh yeah,
oh my God,
give me that big black
Don't
cock. My husband could never do this for me.
Like, fuck me, Tyrone." Like, yeah, you know, stuff like that.
His name don't even be Tyrone either. It's Leroy.
Oh my God!
No, it's really like Bill, but she's just...
Leroy Mike.
My phone is so mad at me for looking up cuck porn.
Did you look it up?
I did.
Yeah, that's cuckold porn for you. But anyway, he had the nerve, the gall, and the gumption to have Prince shown up on the screen. I don't know. It was like a sheet, singing. What was that fucking song called? I Die For You.
Yes. Well, I don't know what that was, but that's what it was supposed to be.
It made
that
me
sheet that was representative of a KKK hood. Like, okay. Like,
and it's just like, you didn't even like Prince. Prince didn't even like yo ass.
You.
And it just felt very opportunistic. And like, nobody wanted this. Literally nobody wanted it.
He dissed Prince, right?
So he
Yes.
said this was his diss against Prince, and it's whack and it's weak anyway. But he said, "We missed you on the charts last week. Damn, that's right, you wasn't there. Now if Sexy never left, then why is everybody on my shit? It. Don't hate on me just because you didn't come up with it." And this is because I guess Prince said Sexy never left or something.
Right.
And so it's just like, girl, shut your white ass up.
Irony. The fact that he told Prince because he didn't come up with it, like, are you like?
Do you know that Prince invented sex, bitch?
Like, invented sex, invented music, invented guitars, invented singing, invented being on pitch, invented being on key, invented dancing, invented my sexuality, invented me, invented Earth. Like, and then, like, how dare you? Like,
Invented me.
like,
Your 23andMe goes back to Prince.
yes.
And then there was like apparently, so there was a lot of rumors that Janet was going to be brought out.
Yeah.
And she kindly shut that down. Oh, she deleted it. No.
I
Wait,
feel
did you
like
guys
he
see
asked
that?
her and she said no.
She basically was just like, she was like, I decline. And
No,
that was just about it. She just was like, no, thank you. She was like, no, thank you. She was like, I no longer wish to be a part of this narrative, and I politely decline.
You know,
I don't fuck with that cracker.
I felt really uncomfortable.
Did you guys?
You know,
Did you guys see that video of someone who was in the audience and was like
I just
recording?
didn't really want to. Wait, John, we're still talking like Janet Jackson.
Okay, I know. I
So,
can hear
you
it.
know, you know, he had told me that I could come to the Super Bowl, and you know, it's not me.
Do you understand that I let a billionaire nut in me?
You know, I'm busy raising my family and going on the tour that I said I was supposed to go on 3 years ago.
Bitch. You know, I got skinny.
I'm busy. I'm busy with my ASMR channel. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, but if she had an ASMR channel, bitch, sickening.
Janet Jackson
You have to
ASMR
turn
would
it
be
like
everything.
Okay, like
It'd be like,
Janet Jackson featuring Miss Chu.
it would be like,
Feedback. Oh, feedback. Light skin, dark skin, my Asian persuasion. I got. Break it up, give it to me. Come on.
She breaks a pickle.
Okay, Mrs. Chu goes off though. Like she cracks me the fuck up. The way she be like tapping her nails on the little packages. Like,
she is so ghetto, and I love it. Like,
love every minute of
she
it.
is ratchet.
And she just be chewing with her mouth out. Oh, I love it.
Bitch,
But it's so comforting too.
She's the only person I can watch ASMR that's like chewing stuff. She's the queen.
Yeah.
Like she really brought ASMR to people of color, and she needs to be compensated.
Can we talk about Rose Mcgowan?
What's
going on there? What's going on, sis? I just think that she needs
What's
some
going on,
help.
sis?
She needs some milk. She needs some milk. What is wrong with her?
That was
She sounds like deluded. Like, I mean, not even just. I mean, yes, transphobia, telling a trans woman to shut up and sit down. But the like, I do all this for you. You should be grateful. Like, who does she think she is?
So wait, just for, can you back up and talk about? So she has a breakdown during an interview, right?
in Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. So
Isn't that the most white woman thing you ever heard of?
Like
A white woman having a breakdown in Barnes
in Barnes and Noble.
she was told by Apple Care
She was told by Apple Care.
in Barnes and Noble.
Like
Lord.
there was a Whole Foods attached to the Barnes and Noble. I could tell.
There was like a little quiche bar.
No.
So I think she was being interviewed, and then was it a trans woman of color that went up?
It was a
and
white trans woman.
No, it was a white trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she said,
Oh, I mean, I guess.
I mean, no, it's not. I just said, okay.
Like, I mean, I guess.
I think
John was so shook by that. He was like, she's not a
Really
person.
was. I was shocked in the silence. Sorry, go ahead, John.
This is the quote. Wait. I have a suggestion. Talk about what you said on RuPaul. Trans women are dying, and you said that we, as trans women, are not like regular women. We get raped more often. We go through domestic violence more often. There was a trans woman killed here a few blocks away, and I have been followed home. And then Rose Mcgowan interrupted her. She says, "Hold on, so am I. We are the same." My point was, we are the same. There's an entire show called ID Channel, a network dedicated to women getting abused, murdered, sexualized, violated. And you're part of that too, sister. It's the same. So, and she said, I didn't agree to your CIS fucking world. So, yeah, I don't know. Rose Mcgowan. There it is. There you go.
And so the woman who confronted her is actually an activist, and her name is Andy Deer. ANDIDIER. Yeah, I mean, she was basically just like, girl, like, the shit you're saying is transphobic, and like, you need to acknowledge that, like, we go through shit, and you're sitting up here calling us saying that we're not real women, and we're going through all these things that women go through only more often. And homegirl was just like, shut up, I am your savior, and like went off on like this whole tangent about all this shit that she does for women. And it's just like, but do you do all this stuff for like all women, or
well,
which is not my place to question, but this woman was questioning her. I'm saying what she was saying.
No, you're right.
But to be fair, the way that she talks about Rose Mcgowan, the way that she talks about black people, and the way that she talks about trans people, and the way that she talks about gay people is weird. And it's been weird for a long time. This isn't new.
Okay, so you guys can read her rant. It's on the Huffington Post. But the part that gets me was like, she says, "Don't label me, sister. Don't put your labels on me. Don't you fucking do that. I don't come from your planet. Leave me alone. I don't subscribe to your rules." Like, I don't come from your planet. That sounds like she worked at Hot Topic for a while and read a t-shirt and was like, I don't come from this planet. Like,
that's literally her whole persona. She's always like, Rose's army, rise up. And it's like she centers, everything is about like her. Like, it's not about like, it's like everything's
you don't come from our planet, but you live here, so.
It's like, and that even sounds to me like weird. Like, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. Like, it doesn't sound to me like someone who's in the right headspace.
But it's also like, why can't you just be open to hearing the criticism and just say, I hear you, I want to do better? Like, that's literally it. Especially as someone, well, let me not say that. I was going to say, I won't say that. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, Rose Mcgowan has been through some shit. She has been through some shit. She has more than every right to be upset and angry and pissed off. And, like, I can't even begin to imagine what she's been through, because she's had to live it so publicly and also be silent about it. And I don't even want to say I get it, because I don't. Like, there's no way I could possibly understand what she's been through. That being said, that doesn't give her the pass, and it feels like she doesn't have to be accountable for the things that she does.
Right.
And it's like, yes, you have been victimized. That's horrible. It shouldn't have happened. The people who have victimized you should pay for what they did. That does not give you the right to victimize other people.
Right. We just have to be careful to not alienate other people when we're using our platforms. And I just think she just lacks the concept of intersectionality. And hopefully, like, looking at that rant, I was more concerned more than anything, because the way she blew, like, it actually kind of scared me.
She didn't seem like someone who was in their right headspace. And
she seemed off.
Like, excuse it, but it just was like homegirl just was like, something was going on there.
Like, she snapped. So I just hope that if she can get the help that she needs, and
moving on, let's go ahead and drag J.K. Rowling, because homegirl is out of her.
That's all you, sis. Go off.
Yeah,
okay. Miss.
That's your problematic fave.
Okay, yes. Here's the thing. Has she shut the fuck up? Just shut the fuck up in the first place. There's no way in hell that anybody would be having any issues with anything. Well, they would have issues with Johnny Depp being cast, but there would be no issues regarding Dumbledore being gay. So basically the issue is Jude Law is playing young Dumbledore in the newest Fantastic Beasts film. And we know that he's going to be in there, and we know that fucking, what's this nigga's name? I just said it. Johnny Depp is going to be Grindelwald. Now, after the books came out, and of course she waited until after the books came out, J.K. Rowling said that Dumbledore and Grindelwald were lovers when they were young, but they like fell out because of, I don't feel like going into it, but they fell out. And
he was about to stand.
Yeah, I won't go into it because it'll be like a whole. Well, that'll be the show. Like, but they fell out over some shit, and it was something that killed his little sister, and it was like Dumbledore's little sister, and it just was like a whole thing. Now, this woman said after she revealed this in 2007, after the last book came out, wow, if I had known you guys would be this excited about it, I would have done this years ago. You know what you could have done? You could have put it in a goddamn book. But you chose not to. You chose to talk about it afterwards, which means what? Absolutely nothing. So she decided to do this, pandering to the gays, letting the gays, giving the gays everything they want except for representation. And
oh no.
And then fast forward to 2018, it's been announced that Jude Law is being cast as Dumbledore, but David Yates is the director of the new Fantastic Beasts film, says that his homosexuality will not be overt and will not be a part of the story, basically. Wow. So this all takes place after they've broken up or whatever, but they're both in the same movie together, right? So you have these two characters who have a past as being lovers, but there's no mention of the fact that they were lovers, and there's no mention of their homosexuality. How does that even fucking work? Like, that matters to the story. If this is the case, if you've always envisioned Dumbledore as gay, and if Dumbledore and Grindelwald have this relationship, you can't just suddenly have them be in the same motherfucking movie and there's no relationship. They just don't even know each other. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't even make any sense.
Shut up,
even if
John.
they were on a DL, it makes no sense. And then there's people like, oh, well. And so then people, like, lost it. Because, let me see. I don't remember. I think she wrote the screenplay, if I'm not mistaken. She wrote the screenplay. She wrote the screenplay. So, girl, like, this is literally her story. Like, this is her telling the story, and she excluded that from the narrative. So, for me, it's just like, the reason you're getting all this backlash is deserved because you decided to pander to the gays, and then when it was time to give the gays what they wanted, you didn't deliver.
All talk.
You not deliver. And then she was talking about, well, there's 5 whole movies and people are waiting to see and blah, blah, blah. Bitch, we've been waiting for 20 motherfucking years. The first book came out in like 1996. Okay?
Right.
There are whole ass people that have kids now that were not born when the first Harry Potter came out. So you had all them goddamn years to make Dumbledore gay, to make his gayness overt, and you chose not to do so. So ain't no motherfucking body waiting no more 3 more movies to see what the fuck happened. Oh, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Bitch, it's 2018.
Right.
If I want to see some queer people, I can actually turn on the TV and see it. Not a lot.
Goddamn mirror.
Not
I
a lot.
see that shit.
But I can. I can go watch Call Me by Your Name. I won't, but I can. Is the point. So all I'm saying, I know. I saw you got dragged on Facebook for it.
I told everyone. Everyone was like, "Ew, why would you go see them?" And I said, "Y'all can fucking choke." I didn't say that the movie was my favorite movie of all time. It was just I enjoyed the movie. Anyway, we're not here to talk about.
We're talking about J.K. motherfucking Rowling and how you just have managed to continuously disappoint. Like, all you really had to do was let Harry Potter be the straight white world that it is, because that's what like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm disappointed that there wasn't no queerness. I'm disappointed that there were no major characters of color who like had important parts played important parts in the story. But had you just let it be what it was, we could have just accepted that was what it was and moved on. Because you know what? There are other books coming out. There are other books that have come out since, and there are other things that we can find that in. And for me, it was just like you decided to like jump on this like train of like, oh, I'm #woke, and actually Dumbledore was always gay, and you know, and really, like, I don't know, McGonagall is like secretly black, but she's just passing as a white woman, and like
Rachel Dolezal.
And like actually Neville Longbottom is like gender fluid. Like, no, bitch, you just coming out with all this random ass shit, and there was no call for it. There was no need for it. Yeah. And now people are saying, hey, you said that this is what it was, so let it be what it is, and you're not doing that. So fuck J.K. Rowling. Like, fuck her. She is not with the fucking time. She's, what she did was great. I love Harry Potter so much. I have so much love in my heart for Harry Potter because it provided an escape for me. And in a world where I felt like I didn't matter and didn't exist. Oh. This was somewhere where I felt like I could exist, and it gave me the hope and possibility. I knew, I guess I always knew that Hogwarts never existed, but I never stopped dreaming and hoping that I wouldn't get my Hogwarts letter. Like, that world, like, the Harry Potter universe means so much to me. And it's so disappointing to stand for somebody so hard and have them just continuously shoot themselves in the motherfucking foot and disappoint you. Like, she don't have to worry about nobody else ruining her legacy, because she's ruining it all on her own.
Damn, now you know how Azalea stands feel, but damn.
I mean, I still like Azalea. She got $100 million, not $100 million. She got $1 million deal, so.
Oh, well,
go
that's
off.
The difference. Everyone's like, Dumbledore's gay, and she's like, who said that?
Who said that? Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that? Not Dumbledore. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just read tweets about Black Hogwarts and the sorting do-rag, honestly. Like, at this point, you could just rein it on in and shut the fuck up. I'll stick to the fan fiction. Because the fan fiction is always giving me more than the actual books anyway. Huh?
The sorting do-rag? Did you just come
you
up with
guys see that? Black Twitter did a Black Hogwarts thing. And
what were you sorted into?
There was like, it was like Hufflepuff. It was like, what are you wearing to the Yule Ball? And it was like me, a Hufflepuff. Oh, nothing special. And then it's like Rihanna showing up to the Met Gala in that robe. So,
oh my gosh.
Just keep it, girl. Just keep everything. Don't say nothing else. Keep your Twitter. Don't say nothing else about, like, when she came out and was like talking about how black women saved the vote and all that when that fucking nigga from that child molester from fucking Alabama lost,
Roy
and
Moore.
how black women this and black women are so smart, but they weren't smart enough and good enough to be in your motherfucking books and be in your motherfucking movies.
Oh my god.
So, you know what? You can keep all of that. Don't say nothing else about gay people. Don't say nothing else about black people. Shut the fuck up and just keep talking about white straight people. You know what? How about talk about Johnny Depp? Talk about that. Anyway, sorry.
Don't be sorry.
And that's that, because we running on time. I'm sorry.
And that is the minutes ago. Wow.
Hello, and welcome to the Discuss.
Hello, everybody.
We just over here discoursing.
It's Janet. It's Janet here. I'm a special guest on the Discourse this week. I just want to say I'm so happy to be here, and I'm just ready to discourse with the trash bags and just see where this goes. So yeah.
Janet Jackson, are you happy to be in Paris? Are you happy to be in Paris?
I sure am. Bays, and I just wanted to say that Rakim is the best ever, and I love his work so much, and he will be photographing my next album cover.
We'll see. We'll see. So today's topic is sort of a rehash of something we talked about last week during Minutes of Color. We went over an article about the extension of adolescence because of the way that we're socialized, how that, they're talking about extending adolescence from 18 to 25. We all kind of shared our opinions on that, but I kind of wanted to have a more in-depth, I struggle with that word, more in-depth.
Is it depth?
Conversation.
Wait, depth? Depth.
Shablam. Okay, we need to be like that by that. On that, I don't know words are things that I sometimes use to form sentences. So I thought we would sort of talk about how that relates to us and our feelings about ourselves and our ages and where we're at in life, and Yeah, I mean, and it can be like, obviously, like, we're comparing it to people that were our age at different times. So older people and you know, where our parents were at in our life and at our age,
Mm-hmm.
and how, you know, do we feel like we live up to that? Do we feel like kids? Do we feel like adults? Like, you know, just all of that. So, I guess I'll start.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I definitely, and obviously, like, our queerness, I guess, plays a role in that. I actually didn't think of it like that. Like, I was thinking about it, and I didn't really feel like my queerness played a role in it. But I guess it had to, because, you know, it affects, like, what you can do when you are an actual teenager, or, you know, when
For sure.
when you are an adolescent. You don't really necessarily get to experience the things that, you know, a lot of other people do. But there's also that mix of, like, well, but you're also, like, a person of color, so especially a black person, you're kind of expected to grow up faster. But I think that I, like, kind of escaped that because I was an only child. And so my mom spoiled me. So I got to be young, I think, for longer. And I didn't have sex until after I graduated high school. And so a lot of these experiences I definitely, I think, feel younger, I guess, than, like, so, like, I have two friends. I have a friend who's a year older than me, and she has her master's, and she got her master's when she was 25. And I remember that's when I met her. I was 24 and she was 25 when I met her, and she had just graduated and got her master's, and I was just like, wow, like, you're, like, a real adult. And you're only a year older than me. And then, like, I have another friend who works for Mashable, and that's and she's, like, basically a journalist. I don't know. I have never really, like, I know she interviews people, so I guess that's a journalist. And so, like, you know, that's her job. Like, she goes to work and she, like, interviews people and she writes articles, and you know, I talked to her and I'm just like, wow, like, you know, I'm working a job, and whereas you're in your career, and so. It's really interesting because I, like, meet other people, and, like, I've always been, I think, immature for my age. Like, I've never been, like, super mature for my age. I have my mature moments, but I've never been super mature for my age. So it's partially, I guess, that. But yeah, I think when I compare myself to a lot of other people my age, I feel like behind, and I don't necessarily feel like I'm that age. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'll meet a bunch of, like, 22, 23-year-olds, and I'll be like, oh, girl, yeah, like, we're all the same. Which I guess there's not that big of a difference in age, but it's still, like, I don't know. I guess I feel like I have more in common with people in their early 20s than I do with people my age. But then I also have friends in the range of ages, and so, I don't know. This is, like, not as easy as I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, do you mind if I chime in?
Yeah.
Because
chime in.
Because I feel like I actually relate to that a lot, because I feel like, so I'm 25 and I'm turning 26 in 3 months, 3 months, and I feel, I don't know, sometimes, babes, I feel like that too. I feel like I haven't done as much as I would have liked to do, I guess. Like, I remember when I was 18 and I went to college, like, I remember saying I wanted to have, like, a Vogue cover by 30, and, like, I wanted to work, you know, with, like, all these models and shit, and, like, so much has changed in that time frame, in terms of, like, what I wanted to do and, like, where I'm at career wise and that kind of thing. But one thing that I'm gonna piggyback off of what you were saying in terms of, like, I'm gonna use this in terms of dating and stuff too, is one thing that always has gotten me is, like, or makes me kind of insecure, is when I see people that have, like, their own apartment and, like, you know, live on their own, and or, like, have roommates and stuff like that, because I live at home with family right now. And it's always kind of weird for me, because I actually feel like I've talked to John about this not too long ago, where I've dated people and I've been like, oh, well, they have their own apartment, or, like, they do this, whatever. And it makes me feel weird, because I feel like we're conditioned to be like, by 25, 26, like, you're supposed to be out of the house and whatever. But it's like, people don't realize.
Remember that conversation, though? I said it's cultural too,
right? But I feel a lot of the times people, like, well, I don't know. For me, it's always been like, oh yeah, you know, you're supposed to move out, and that's like your a sonic success. And like, I have a cousin, for example, who's like in their 40s and like still lives at home, and they're a piece of shit. Like, but like that's a little bit. I mean,
that nigga ain't shit.
He ain't shit. So like that's a little bit different. But it's like I remember growing up, I saw how he treated his mom, and I always told myself I never wanted to be like that because he was just a horrible person to me. And so I remember thinking like, okay, that means I have to be out of the house by this certain time. And the fact that like I did move out for college, but like living in LA is fucking expensive. Like it's terribly expensive. And it's like I bought my own car, and it's like the car I'm driving in, I pay for myself. I pay for the gas for myself. I go to work myself. And it's like I still feel like I'm not where I should be, or I'm like less than people because I don't have my own place. And it's like certain little cultural things like that that make you feel like you're not, I don't know, that you're like not good enough or whatever.
Not a real adult.
Yeah, like you're not an adult. But it's like these bills say that I'm an adult. Like these student loan payments say that I'm adult. But for some reason, like you don't feel it. And I'm just wondering, like, I feel it's weird because the standards that we're holding ourselves to aren't even really relatable or relevant to the time that we live in. You know what I mean? Like when my mom was a teenager or my age, like you were able to get a house for however much money and it wasn't that big of a deal. Like the economy wasn't where it was now. And it's like the cost of living wasn't where it was. And it's so crazy that we just hold ourselves to these standards, but like you can't help but do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like part of it is like you think about the fact that, you know, when my mom, like I talked to my mom about like gas, and like she's like, well, back in, you know, the 70s and the 80s, you know, gas was like 70 cents, and you know, back in the day, like minimum wage, you could support a family off of it. You know what I mean? Like that was the initial point of minimum wage, was that, you know, a man could support his wife and I think 2 children or 2.5. I don't remember the exact number, but you know, kids on minimum wage. And now it's just like, bitch, you're lucky if you can like have a meal every day on minimum wage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy what we've become used to accepting from our capitalist society. I'm sorry, I had to fill in there for
Renee.
How do you?
But I mean, really though, like capitalism is failing, and that's what we're seeing is that it's not a successful way of life. You know, businesses are calling themselves a success, but they're not providing a livable wage for their employees. And so that leads people to not be making enough to like live on their own. So you have to have like 20, 30 roommates. And I know people in the Bay Area who have like 10 or 15 roommates, so that's not even a joke. You know, you have to have a shit ton of roommates. You can't like have a husband or a wife and have children. Like it just is not a realistic thing to do anymore. Like especially not in your 20s. You know what I mean? Like people like, didn't the Obamas like just finish paying off their student loans right before he became president?
Yep.
Or while he was still president? It was like one or the other. I don't remember which one it was.
Wow.
I think it was during or right before,
During.
That's
so it's
crazy.
just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, and like I talked to people like, you know, I was talking to an Australian dude once, and he was like, he was becoming a teacher, and he was like, wait, you have to pay all this money to get qualified to become a teacher, and then they pay you shit? And I was just like, yeah, that's how it works here in the great US of A. And so it's just like you work hard, but that doesn't translate to you know, living well.
Yeah.
And so I think that, you know, there's a lot of comments about like, oh, millennials are ruining this and millennials are ruining that. It's just like millennials can't afford shit anymore. Like, that's why. Like we're not trying to shut down J. Crew, but you know, who can afford it? Shit.
Right.
In this economy, who the fuck can afford it?
Yeah.
John, I have a follow-up question for you, Base, but I'll wait till John goes.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Well, I had like a different interpretations of the question, but I'll go with.
Well, speak your mind.
Well, I think when we initially started talking about this, I responded like Peter Pan syndrome ? Because like
that's a part of it.
Yeah, so like Peter Pan syndrome is when like I guess it's the never growing up of some kids. Like even though you are technically growing older with age and your physical changes, you just sometimes mentally or your energy, your essence doesn't change because you feel like a child still. And I think that there's two different cultures that come to play with my feelings towards this question. One of them is growing up Asian and growing up queer. Growing up Asian for me comes like, I hate to say this, can sound really problematic, but I feel like my mom was like a tiger mom.
What is that?
And a tiger mom is like strict Asian moms.
Oh, okay.
So when I was a kid, the reason like you guys like are gamers, because like I was never allowed to have video games as a kid. So we never had a game console, and we weren't allowed, like me and my brother we were not allowed to watch TV on weekdays. We couldn't play video games. We couldn't go out and play with our friends on weekdays. We were forced to do like classical piano. We were forced to do tennis. We were forced to do after school programs and like only things that were like academia related. And like there's like no time for enjoyment. And then also like we were told that like you were not going to school or you're not growing up to do what you love. Like you have to do what's for survival. Do you know what I mean? Which is like in America, they say do what you love, but in certain cultures, it's like do what you got to do to survive. And so there was this whole like, I felt like I wasn't allowed to be a kid. So by the time I was like old enough to drive, old enough to like start lying, like I was doing things like, it's almost like, you know how like they say Catholic schoolgirls are the worst. They're the most like party, like crazy girls because they're so pent up. I felt like that's how I was because I wasn't allowed to do so many things that when I had the opportunity to, I would like rage. And then when it comes to being queer, like I felt like I couldn't express myself fully as a kid. And so by the time, when we're older, that's why there's this stereotype of like specifically when it comes to gay men, like they are always partying or like really into drugs and like, these like 3-day length ragers. And it's because like, I am not saying that that's typical or okay, but that's just, I understand because they weren't allowed to be who they wanted to be when they were kids, So I feel like for me, doubly, I wasn't allowed to be an adult in certain ways. But with that said, I think it's difficult to compare like where I am right now. So I'm 30. If I compare myself to my parents, when my parents were 30, they already had 3 kids and they've already had like their career. They like moved to a whole different country. They did all these things. And like, that's not where I'm at. Like one, I don't think those rules apply to me because I'm not going to have kids. So these stages of development, like I don't feel like my time is my body clock isn't ticking as fast as someone who's like heterosexual and wants kids, or not even just heterosexual, someone who wants kids. So I think that doesn't apply to me. So I think I have a little bit of this Peter Pan syndrome because I feel like I have finally my own money to spend. I finally have my own independence to do what I want. And so what I want to do is kind of not be an adult, quote unquote an adult. Cause I just want to like, I think that's why the joke is right now, like this is adulting, right? Like,
right.
No one really knows what they're doing. And I don't think that's what people said back then, that like, that was an adult. People like to joke now, like adulting is just kind of winging it and like we're all kind of faking it. And I think that's kind of an okay thing to accept now.
Yeah. I think that was the issue though, because they weren't actually saying that they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Whereas now it's like, because it's crazy. When you get older, you realize that really no one does know what the fuck that they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, Bass, were you going to say something?
No, it was just, it comes down to like you realize too like how like not new this is when you like listen to like older people talk, because I talked to like a lot of older family members about their lives and like the kind of shit that went down, and it was really just a bunch of people shutting the fuck up because people didn't tell their business, Like now it feels like people are always telling everything. Like people are like, oh bitch, I got anxiety, I got depression, you know, this weave is 2 years old, and like, you know what I mean? Like people just like share all their business. But you think about like even 20 years ago, people didn't like, black women didn't tell people they had wigs and weaves. And if you think about 30, 40 years ago, people didn't say that they weren't married and had a kid. And you know what I mean? Like people like, just, there's just like little things that like people just get more and more comfortable sharing, but things were not as open back in the day. So I think that like that's part of it too, is like people weren't supposed to acknowledge that they didn't have it all together, or that they like you know, it was all about the illusion of like being normal. And so you didn't share that you didn't feel like you should have it all together, or like you didn't have it all together.
Yeah. I wanted to address what Rakeem was saying earlier about, you know, like our expectations of moving out. I remember like so I'm not sure. I know in other cultures, it's like pretty normal for someone to stay with their family well into their 30s, even like to get married and have children with their parents in their house. But then there's other cultures, and my mom would always make fun of white people. She says, I don't understand why white families like will kick their child out at 18 like they're an adult, because they're really not an adult. That's what my mom would tell me. And she's like, it's fine that if you still live with me, because like you're not an adult yet, you know, like you're not prepared. And so I think a lot of this pressure comes from like who you're comparing yourself to. Like I think if I compared myself to people like back home, or not like in the Philippines, or like some relatives of mine, like they stay with their parents for a long time, and that's, you know, in our culture normal.
Right. And it was also kind of, John, like I don't know where the comparison is. I don't know if it's like a racial thing for me. It's more of it's like a, so for example, let's just say I don't know, like I book a job, right? Like so let's just say like the Sky Jackson thing, for example. Like when I booked that shoot, like I shoot my stuff at like a home studio, right? And to me, I felt a little bit weird saying that, like, yeah, this is going to be shot at my house, and I'll make sure that like my family's not there, kind of thing. And
Sky Jackson was at your house?
That's where it was shot, and it was just like,
oh my god!
And it was shot in the same place that the podcast cover was shot in, and it was just like,
oh cool.
And it was just kind of like when that stuff happens, I always feel this weird energy, or like if I want like, I don't know, or if I'm dating someone and I say, and you know, because they'll be like, oh, you can come over. And I'll be like, oh, well, you can come over too, but like my mom might be home, or like my sister might be home or something. And it's like the stigma that I have, because on one end, I feel like if I'm saying that, that's saying that I'm not financially at a place where like I can be in a place all by myself. And then that makes me feel like shit. And then that makes me feel like I'm less than because of that, when I know that's not the case. But in the moment, like that's what it feels like. And then sometimes like I used to do this where I allowed people that had places of their own to treat me really kind of shitty, because I felt like they were better or above me in that regard or whatever. But it's like I'm learning to get, and it's still something I struggle with now. Like even if I were to have someone come over my house now, like I feel really nervous saying, oh, I live at home. Like I try not to bring it up, because I feel like they're going to say, oh, well, like I don't want to date you anymore, or like I don't want to see you because of that. And I know that you guys have told me definitely, like off air and privately, like don't fuck with people that say that and that's stupid. But it's still like an insecurity that I have, because it's like, you know, financial stability is a thing. And I'm not saying that like I don't I have a job and I make steady money and I have a salary and that kind of thing. But it's like living in LA is fucking difficult. If I lived any other city other than New York, I would be able to live up by myself just fine. But it's like,
well, in the Bay Area.
Oh, well, there too. But if I lived any other place, like I was looking at places in New Orleans, I could afford like a 2-bedroom house all by myself. But it's like LA is different, and it's hard. And I think so many people feel like they're less than because they're not able to, you know, have their own apartment and have their own car. But it's like I also have to tell myself I just bought a fucking car. Like, so it's like
But sometimes it's not even about finances. Like sometimes, you know, it's about the parent, like the family connection. Like some people don't want to move up, even though they're as independent as they can be. They don't want to break up. I'm like quoting break up the family, because I mean, my mom called me very American when I moved out of the house.
Right.
And she like kind of guilted me. She's like, so you're just going to leave your mom and like, you're going to let me be here? And I'm just like, well, yeah, because you're an adult and I'm an adult, or sort of. But she's like, and she just kind of like was very disappointed in me for moving out. And it wasn't even about finances. It was just about like a respect kind of thing. Right. Like, I raised you to live with me, and now you're going to leave me, and like, who's going to help me when I'm older, kind of thing.
See, that's
and like that's still kind of,
go ahead.
That still kind of creeps in now, because I'm just like, fuck, what if my mom like hurt herself?
Right.
And like, she's by herself. Like, what do I do?
And that's like a cultural difference too, because I know my mom has said something similar to that, but like, she doesn't like, I know when I first moved out, or when I was talking about moving out, she was just kind of like, well, I want you to stay and help me and that kind of thing or whatever. But then, you know, and it's, yeah, but then at the same time, it's like she didn't feel like a way about it. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to move out specifically for the fact that I get along better with my family when I don't live with them. So it's like I get along with them so, like when I was in college, we were best fucking friends because I didn't have to see her every day. And it's like, and it's sometimes it's like, sometimes I don't know the word that I want to use. I don't want to say emasculating because that's not the correct word. But like, I'll come home and I like run this gallery space and I have to do all this like boss shit all day. And then I come home and then you have to hear shit like, well, you didn't Windex your mirror today. And it's like, what the fuck? You know? And then it makes you feel, and then it makes me feel like I'm 15.
Belittled?
Yes. And then it makes me feel like I'm 15 again. And like, my mom and I don't have the relationship where like, I tell her stuff that like, I tell y'all, and she definitely doesn't listen to the podcast. So like, she doesn't know me outside of like, you know, in like my full capacity of what I do. So it's weird when you feel like you're this adult and then you come home and then you feel like I'm 15 again because the shit that I'm getting nagged about is like stuff, you know what I mean? And it's weird. So sometimes I don't. So that's why I was saying I feel uncomfortable about that, because I've had dates over where my mom has literally been like, you need to fucking remember to take out the trash, like in front of them. And I'm like,
oh my God, no.
And she doesn't give a fuck. And I'm like, are you serious? Like,
yeah. When I was living with my mom, I had a guy come over one time and she was like, you left your laundry in the washer. And I'm just like,
sis, I'm trying to get like
yeah. I'm trying to do it in your house, Mom. God.
My mom will ask dates to do things. Like when I finally got friends in high school and they would come over, I remember, oh my God, I remember she asked my friends, we were just playing PlayStation, and she said, do you guys want to come and like help Rakeem cut down some palm leaves so he can take him out to the street?
Oh my God, no.
And I was like, and it's like shit like that. So sometimes it is hard to feel like an adult, and it's like, you know, so it's a cultural thing for you, but for me, it's like, I don't like those situations. Like, I want to feel like I'm being independent, but my bank account says, sis, are you sure? Like, who said that? So, you know, you have to be, I don't know, you have to figure out like the middle ground, I guess, or what works for you.
Yeah. I think I don't really have to experience that because I live like with my boyfriend. But I think there's still other parts where I think going to like a job and you work somewhere where it's like not, it doesn't have the prestige of like working in an office. Or,
right. So it's not your living condition. It's your career that's making you feel.
Exactly. And so it's just like, and then you got to deal with people that you don't want to deal with, that talk to people you don't want to talk to, who don't want to talk to you. And then you got people that are talking to you crazy and you want to be talking back to them crazy, but you can't do it. And so it's just like little things like that where it's just like, damn, bitch, I can't wait to just be able to live off of my creativity.
Right.
You know, like, and so I think being a creative makes that like, adds another layer to it. But that's another discussion altogether. But I think what?
No, I was going to say, I think that's similar to, like when your career, or I would, like my example would be school. I know that when I was in school, there was a lot of, when I was in the nursing program, there was a lot of 30s, 40s, and I even had someone who was 50 in my class, and they felt weird about it because they were like, I'm doing college late in life, and like I should have done this, and like they felt like they were younger, almost like, you know, how people in a sort of job rather than career would feel young. And then my response to them was like, well, you know, I wouldn't compare our experiences because I'm still younger, and like when you were my age, you were living life. Like, you have kids, and I don't have any of that stuff. So
right,
comparing our experiences would be like where we are now. Like, it could be the job or school, but you have other things that I don't. So no one has everything, so it's just like our experiences they're not really comparable sometimes because what am I saying? Rakeem, what am I saying?
Who said that? No.
Do you know what I'm saying, Dave?
I get it.
Like, yeah.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, it has nothing to do with other people. I just mean, like, for myself, like, in terms of, like, where I'm at in life. Yeah, I sometimes look at, like, how other people are living their lives, but, like, it's, for me, like, I guess I just have, like, a lot of pride, and when I, like, look at, like, just when you think about, like, the kind of job you have to have, like, it's not even, like, I'm, like, so privileged, like, my job is, like, not hard or difficult at all, and, like, I actually don't mind it at all, but it's just, I guess, it's just, I guess there's also that keeping up factor, but again, I think that's a whole different like topic. But like keeping up with the image, I guess, is what it more or less is. Yeah, and I think that's something that we have to talk about separately. But in terms of just feeling like young, I guess there's also like that feeling like your age is like you should be somewhere, and I think that's part of it. Is like I feel like when I thought about like if I go back to when I was like 16 and I thought about the age 25, I thought 25, yes, bitch, I have it all together. I have all my shit, all my ducks in a row, like everything would be good. I would have my career,
right.
You know what I mean? And then it's like you hit 25 and you're like, oh shit, like I don't have, and it's like all you can think about is what you don't have.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not here, I'm not there.
Yeah.
And so it feels like you feel, I know what you mean, Rakeem, because it doesn't feel like emasculated. That's not the right term. You feel like infantilized.
Yes.
You feel like infantilized by life. Like you just feel like you're like, wow, like shit, like I can't just go out and do the things that like I want to do, or that I felt like I should be doing by now. I have to like get to a point where I'm comfortable doing that. And it's not easy. Like there's so much work that has to go into getting to financial stability. And what people don't mention a lot of the times is that like the wage gap is getting, wider and wider. And so it's getting more and more difficult to reach that level of financial stability. Like the idea of like,
it's not attainable.
What used to be just being comfortable, like used to be like poor. And now it's just like, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't, like you have to work hard to just get out of being below the poverty line.
Yeah, and depending on like what you want to do. So like I'm in the arts, so it's like I have to accept the fact that like I'm just not going to have a job that's going to make me like six figures. Like it's just not going to happen. Like
or at least not consistently.
Yeah, like I look at a job and then it's great, and then I'm really happy about it, and then I look at the pay part on the resume and it's like
Well, just as I thought. Trash.
And and then you're just like, well, damn. And it's like, for example, I have I'll cut it short because I know that we're running long, but it's like I have a job that has a business card and like all of this shit, and it's like it feels great, and then it's like because the job that I have, people always expect that, like, actually I'm not gonna go into that because no, let's not do that, but I get what you're saying. It's
I just feel like I get basically I just wanted to do this all to say that like I totally get the extension of the adolescence to the age of 25 because I feel like almost all of my experiences, I feel like my teenage years were like I was a kid. Like I didn't have almost any, like I was so sheltered and I didn't have any of these experiences, and then like I hit my 20s and it was like I was like doing I was meeting all these people, I was making all these friends, and like I was, having all this sex, and I was, and I was
wow, must be nice.
Okay, bitch, let's not act. Let's not get lazy.
This is not that. This is not the discourse.
Oh no,
okay?
It's not that time.
Oh no.
So
the discourse.
Ways, that was. I guess I felt like my 20s were when I really got to start to grow up. And so, like,
Yeah.
I think that was, like, the beginning of me growing up was my 20s. And so some people experience that earlier, and it's not, I don't know, a universal thing, but, like, I totally get it. And I can imagine that there are a lot of people that feel like that, whether they're a part of the LGBT or not. Like, so, like people are just doing things later. And, like, I think when I think back at, like, my school, like, I can count on one. I mean, and also this is, like, socioeconomic as well. Like, it has to do with it as well. But, you know, I went to school, and I went to an upper middle class school. So, like, you know, someone being pregnant was like a big thing. And it's not to say that kids weren't having sex, because lots of kids were having sex. But things were just not as... I felt like things were toning down. Like, there was like what the news was saying kids were doing, and there's what actual kids were doing.
Right.
And yeah, there were always those wild kids that were doing all kinds of crazy shit. But there was also a good chunk of the kids who were not participating in that. Or at least not regularly, you know? And so, like, I think that when I think about, like, my experiences as, like, a teenager and then my experiences as an adult, I feel like my 20s is when I really started to experience a lot of different things for the first time. And it's when, I don't know, I just feel like I get it. Like, it just makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know about, like, the legalities of extensioning the age,
I don't
but
think there's anything related to the law about it. I just think it's in terms of, like, an understanding of...
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't change that, but I do feel the same way about, like, because people like to joke that the 30 is the new 20 and that 40 is the new 30, and we keep extending it because things are changing.
Yeah.
And you guys are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna quote Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City.
Why would we hate that?
Why would we hate you?
I don't know. Because she's so dumb.
She wants to be a victim.
I love Sex in the City, John. It's a great show.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen have you guys seen the movie?
No.
I saw the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the first movie was really good, and she's at the bar with Jennifer Hudson, and she's like, enjoy yourself because that's what your 20s are for. Your 30s are to learn the lessons, and your 40s are to pay for the drinks. And, like, that's what I feel like, because my 30s, I feel like right now are kind of learning the lessons, but I feel like, I don't know, if you rewind this to my parents' like generation, they were doing this younger. You know, they were enjoying their 20s actually when they were teenagers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so that's what I feel like. I feel the same way. Like, my whole 20s was like making mistakes. And now that I'm 30, I'm like, turn this shit around. I gotta, like, do it right now because I'm gonna be 40, you know?
Yeah. All
Well,
right, any last thoughts?
I love everyone.
I'm good.
I'm sorry, this was such a mess. I thought, like, I really knew what I wanted to talk about with this, and, like, I just...
No, I loved it because we, you know.
Did you? Okay.
No, I loved it, actually.
Okay. I feel like I now have some more ideas for other discourse topics now that we touched on this. But anyway, yeah, so I think that's going to be it for the discourse.
Dickscoursin.
And we'll move on to Male of Color.
Male of Color.
Right.
Hello, welcome back. We're here with Male of Color, and we have a letter, or a piece of mail, a bit of mail from someone. So let's get into it. Yeah, a letter.
A letter.
A letter. Yeah.
I could do that. A letter.
A letter.
Letter.
Please, sir, can I have some more? Anywho, about 5 years ago, let me just do this in a serious accent because I don't know what.
Serious accent.
So about 5 years ago, I went through a really bad breakup while I was working and living in my city's mostly white gay neighborhood. I went through this period where I just couldn't be around men anymore. I went from being in a relationship with a selfish person to working at a place where sexual harassment is commonplace. I've pretty much been celibate and mostly dateless for 5 years because fuck these niggas, but also vulnerable places and body issues, etc., etc. The list goes on. But in that time, I've pretty much found myself. I've started looking for a therapist. I've come to terms with some of my gender issues and live openly as a genderqueer person. I've identified what?
I said, oh, good for you.
I've identified and I'm working through my body image issues. I've been repairing relationships with family. Everything my insecurities turned into something difficult or toxic, I've been really unpacking and making room for myself in my own life. My problem right now is I'm ready to start dating or sleeping with people, and I'm afraid I'm wanting to rock it till waterfalls is going to impede my healing journey. Sidebar, for real though, a bitch be horny. I feel like my dick has amnesia. My dick be like, ass, I don't know her. I don't want.
This letter is amazing.
I don't want all my insecurities to come rushing back because someone is cute with a fat ass. Do y'all have any advice? Once again, y'all are the best. Sending all my Chicago love. I don't have any advice for this. What do you think, Rakeem? Because you've actually talked about this being an issue that you've had before.
Yeah, well, I honestly, okay, what I'm going to say and probably what I would do are probably two different things. So, if I were you, I think I don't want to say smart, but I think the better choice would be to probably not try to start sleeping with people until you feel you're 100% at the point where you're ready to do that. And if you're really horny, like there's options that you could do. Like you could buy toys. Like I know porn is not maybe like the most satisfying thing all the time, but I have a rule where if I get like really horny and I'm about to do a really shitty decision, I just masturbate. And it solves so many problems.
That is so smart.
It really does.
You know what, Rakeem? You a smart bitch.
Yeah. Because when you come to your senses.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Look. Come on, brother John.
Yes,
John with a word. Okay. Come on.
Well.
Come in the room. Yeah. I'm at the Shondo about cum, so let's not.
Okay. Or is that?
But
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I would just maybe like really think about if you want to do that, because when you're on this like journey to loving yourself and becoming, the person you want to be, dick fucks all of that up. Dick is like, it'll like delete on all the progress that you made, or ass or whatever. So just be very careful, because someone's gonna like, someone's ass is gonna fit your dick the right way, and then you just gonna forget all the self progress that you made. So I would just be very careful if you do, or you could just go to like a bathhouse or something like that, where it's just
there's Steamworks in Chicago, isn't there? There's a Steamworks or the Manhole or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, just go to a bathhouse.
Girl, she knows all the locations. Go on.
Look, when I was in Chicago, I went to one of these things and I left my harness there. So if anyone in Chicago is a listener and finds my harness, please send it back to me.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
Nice connections.
But I also want to address the other part that you stated about being genderqueer and non-binary. What was it, Baze?
It was genderqueer.
Genderqueer.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think this is what I've come to have to accept, is that when it comes to, if you just purely want to hook up, you're going to have to be okay with how you present and not have to address your identity. Because cis dudes will get freaked out if you bring up your personal identity sometimes, and you just have to be okay with like, and I'm not saying that's a good idea. I don't think so at all. But also, I understand, like, you got dick amnesia. A girl gets horny. You want to do something. You have to accept it for what it is. Like, this is just a hookup. We're not going to talk about like, me as a person or you as a person or whatever. And you're going to have to be okay with that. And then maybe along the way, you're going to find someone decent who you can talk about that with. Or maybe you can find someone, because now, like, I think social media allows you to like change your pronouns and gender identity now. So maybe you will come across that. But if you don't, and until then, there are going to be some situations where you're going to have to present a certain way. Like, I think I expressed to you guys before, like, I have to remove my nail polish and like not wear a skirt when I meet some dudes. And I'm just like, I have to be okay with that. And I have to accept that the repercussions that will come after. Like, am I going to feel shitty about this? Whatever. Maybe I should do what Rakeem said and just jerk off beforehand. I don't know. But, there's that.
Well, John, I don't think that's something you should have to accept. But but I get what you're saying.
You're just saying be realistic about like.
Yeah, exactly. Be realistic. Like, they're not going to understand some things, so maybe don't, like, I don't know. I get it.
Because a hookup can then turn into like a 3-hour conversation about like identity, and it's like, really, I just want you to put your dick in me. It's like I don't need to talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll read one more. This person says, Hi, trash bags of color. I came out about I came out about a year ago, and I'm still trying to make sense of my sexuality and navigating stuff. And perhaps this may sound too much, but listening to podcasts of color feels increasingly like finding a community. Like I have these people who get me. So just thank you. When you had the recent discourse, and Renee talked about how growing up, the chance to have a romantic partner was taken from him, and how everyone around him was going on dates and screwing up, I couldn't help but be like, bitch, are you talking about me? Because I'm 25 now, I'm wanting to be with someone so you can finally experience having a partner. That's real, too real sometimes. Even though you have excellent friends around you. So yeah. Anyway, that got pretty long. Sorry, I really did think there was a question on this. I thought I had, but thank you so much for writing into us.
Reading is what, Baze?
Fundamental.
I read. Appreciates that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get through quick, but y'all be writing some long ass.
Quick drama.
And we appreciate it. We love it. We love it. Thank you. Keep writing more. Okay, here's one that's semi short. Wait. You know what? I think we're just gonna save that. That's just gonna be what we do for today, because a lot of these are very long, and I should not have gone on that rant, but I did, and just took up a little bit too much.
That's
time.
Okay. We just don't want to read y'all's emails and rush through them, because we feel like you guys took the time out to actually write us, so we want to give it the respect that it deserves and actually give you a full answer. So again, I guess with that, we will end this episode of Podcast of Color.
I just want to say,
find us.
Sorry, I just want to say really quick. Shout out to Bubbles Heath, who is having a party at PS.
Oh my God! Yes, Baze.
On Friday, and I mean, I haven't actually been to one since I think I talked about the first one that I went to, but apparently it's gotten less and less white, which I'm always here for, and so I will be going to that one. Hope to see some of you guys there.
Bring your Asian friends.
Also,
and tell me how it goes.
What?
No, because it's like the Asian version of Poppy Juice. No,
I mean, I don't want to say all that. I don't know. It's a queer party for the Asian folks.
Right. Okay.
John's good. Like I just said.
I don't know. I just feel weird about saying I don't know.
It's smart. That's
anyway.
What. Cover your bases. Don't get dragged.
I'm Asian, and I'm glad you're going, and I hope you're going with Asian people, and then you tell me all about it when you're done.
Okay, I will definitely do that. Also, shout out to Danielle Clayton, who has a book coming out. It's called The Bells. I'll be at her book event on fucking, what day is that? Lord Jesus,
she's booked.
Anyway, it's called The Bells. Buy it. Go on the interwebs and look for that. Check that out. And that's all I have to. No, I'll keep that to myself. Anyway, thank you.
All right.
John,
so with that,
did you have something to say?
Oh, I was gonna say for Angelinos in the area, Project Q is having a brunch this Sunday, and it'd be cool if you guys went and mingled and had brunch, and it's for a good cause going towards Project Q, which provides haircuts for LGBT homeless youth.
Yay.
All right, so with that, yes. We're gonna end this episode. I'm just gonna say bye, Tinashe, single, no drama on iTunes, and you can find us on Twitter at Trash of Color. You can find us everywhere else at Podcast of Color. And yeah, if you have honey roast or messy bitch letters or whatever you want to send in, send that to podcastofcolor@gmail.com, and we will see y'all next week. Bye, messy bitches.
Bye, messy bitches.
Bye, messy bitches.